Shalom, Mazakaladimla, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Makakodash, double and also the apostles of Great Stone. Shalom to that came pushing this word in sincerity and in truth. Alright, this is Kazak from GMS Jamaica. And before we start this lesson, I want to say Salakia to all the Akim, sheep, the sheep of the Lord who subscribe to this channel but not getting fed. You know what I mean? Once I Salakia to you, to all of you, who look out for videos but not getting videos. You know what I mean? Salakia, there is no excuse. There's only one thing to do, and it's just get in the spirit and get feeding. Alright? So again, Salakia to you all for not putting out the lessons. But the spirit led me to do this lesson this morning. It's actually, as I can see, it's 5:47 in the morning, and the spirit will led me to do this lesson. As I can see on the screen, what we're about to get into. Now, before we get into that, just have a small question. Like, have you ever felt that you don't have enough time during the day? Right? For example, let's say you want to start your own business, right? We know that takes time and effort. However, if you're already working a 9 to 5, you know that the business where you want to start, you're able to make some money from it. But whatever it is that you want to pursue, the passion that you have or whatever, you know that you're able to make some bread from it, right? And also at the same time, it would be something that you love. You will be in control of your own time, all right? However, you work a 9 to 5, maybe you got 2 jobs, you're not able to really put the time into pursuing that passion or getting that business up and running, right? Because the most the part of the day where you have the most energy, you have your mind is really fresh, you're able to take on certain things. That part of the day gets spent up on your 9 to 5, right? That part of the day is basically used up by the time you leave work, you reach home, you just want to sit back, maybe rest, get all of the fatigue from the day, off of your mind, right? You just want hey, sometimes you come in, you bed, you eat some food and you just drop asleep. You see me? But saying all of that, Salakia. But in a situation like that, that's where the 3Ds come in. Alright? The 3Ds come in at that point where you feel the most fatigue, you feel the most tired, you have the energy. Right? And those 3Ds are dedication, diligence, and discipline. And we find that these 3 words or these 3 principles are required right through the scriptures, and it is also required in this thing of ours, quoting Apostle Gabar. These things are these principles are required in this truth in order to be successful. You see me? That's how you get past the thought of saying, yo, damn, I want to do a lesson but I'm tired, I'm just gonna go to sleep. I'll maybe hit 1 in the morning. You wake up in the morning, sometimes the first thing on your mind is work, you know, sometimes you just get caught up, you know, with your situation. You know, God for, you know, it's hard to say it, but it's like you neglect certain things. You know, it's like you neglect the word because of these what we say, these other things will preoccupy the mind. You know, but this, as I said, this is where, this is the opportunity, or where the chance comes for you to build spiritual strength. This is how you grow spiritually. You get what I'm saying? So as you can see on the script, on the screen, for those who don't know, chat gpt is an AI system where you basically can, you can ask it questions, you can command it to do certain things, and it does it for you. You know, it, what it really does is it uses information that already exists, basically, you know, and so like, all right, it uses information that already exists to provide you with answers to whatever questions you ask it, or whatever command you might give it to execute. So I asked, what are the key differences between dedication, diligence, and discipline? And the spirit basically led me to this lesson this morning because, you know, I wake up from a dream. It's a weird dream, but I wake up from the dream, and the first thing, you know, after the whole thoughts of the dream, and you know, it led me to thinking about pursuing what I want to do, you know, as a means of making a living, because we know that we can make a living off of, you know, my passion, which is art. All right. However, you know, when you look at it, you know, bills gotta pay. You know, there's rent. You know, water, internet, all these things. You know, electricity. So therefore, pursuing that passion at the moment, it it wouldn't be the wisest decision to just pursue that alone. You get me? Because as me say, you know, bills gotta be paid, you know, food gotta eat, and all these things. So you have to, you find yourself stuck in a 9 to 5 trap, you know, and it's like no matter how much I try to crawl out, it's just hard. You see me? But yeah, that's what got me to this lesson, because I was thinking about the situation, and then the spirit hit me and say, "Oh, damn, this, you know, you being in this situation, this is the perfect opportunity for exercise these things, you know, discipline, diligence, and dedication." You get me? Cause you know that is what builds you as a man, especially when you're a man in this truth, you're a man of the Lord, right? These things, these struggles is what shape your character. You get me? Right? When everything has to go through a rough stage in order for go for become smooth. Like for example, the other day, shoot, you know what? I'm gonna look for the video there, Lord's will, and do a lesson on it. Alright? I'm gonna look for that video and do a lesson on it. The other day I came across somebody using a machine on TikTok. It was like a small barrel thing, almost like the size of a cup, a teacup, right, or a coffee mug, and they put some stones in it, along with some other things, and it basically spin, tumble the stones with sand or whatever, and it goes through a process for about 30 days more, say, and at the end the stones come out looking smooth, the rough stones come out looking smooth, shiny, well glossy. All right, so that just show you that um certain hardships that we go through is what build our character. You know what I mean? It's what build our character, because you can't say it's harder to become a dedicated, diligent, or a disciplined person if you're not struggling with anything. Let me say that again. It's harder, not saying it's impossible, but it's harder to be a dedicated person, a disciplined or a diligent person, if you're not facing some kind of hardship, right? The things that you go through, you know what I mean, is what help you forget strength. See, you struggle with weightlifting for a while, if you keep at it, you get basically get stronger, right? You struggle to lift 10 pounds, you keep lifting 10, trying to lift 10 pounds consistently, you find yourself moving up to 15 or to 20 pounds, right? You struggle with 10 push-ups, you keep at it, you find yourself being able to do 15 or 20 or 30 after a while. You get me? So let's get into this part of the lesson now. So as I can see, me ask, what are the key differences between dedication, discipline, and diligence? Give a simple explanation for all three. Alright, and it says dedication is commitment to a goal or a cause. Alright, example, you're deeply committed to becoming successful in your career, so you focus all your energy on it. And in this case, we would be deeply, or I should say, we should be deeply committed to becoming successful in the spirit. Yeah, what I mean by this, being able to so like yeah, so right, being spiritually discerned, spiritually strong, right, dedicated to the scriptures, right, knowing these prophecies, knowing all the breakdowns, knowing the Salakia, not just knowing precepts, but knowing the scriptures, knowing the doctrine. You get me? Right? So, you focus all your energy on it. See, so you want to become more spiritually adept. See, so you have to focus the energy where you have into it, meaning, Salakia. So, after you've given all your energy to, you know work, which it sounds weird, because really most of your energy should be going into this thing. It should be going into the truth, you know what I mean? But for for the sake of living in this kingdom, you gotta put most of your energy into survival. Yeah, cause that's really what this is. You know what I mean? Them 9 to 5, yeah, a survival. The fact that some people have 2 or 3 jobs. That's friggin' that is survival, brother. You get me? So there we have dedication. Again, it says commitment to a goal or a cause. In this case, we should be committed. The goal that we're committed to, or should be committed to, is this truth. You get me? Becoming better and better and better by the day. See, the next word, Salakia, focus. So the focus of the word dedication is motivation and passion. Right, we have to have a passion for this truth, yo. If you don't have a passion for it, then it's not gonna last long. Just like the parable of the sower, you know, them will get the seed by the wayside, right? So like the seed will get sown by the wayside, right, or in the stony places. There is no proper foundation, so after a while, that just it just get caught up in a in a the the world. You don't have a passion for this thing, you're gonna get caught up with things that will seem more fruitful in this world. And there's a lot of things where can dry out of this truth. There's a lot of enticing things that can pull it from this truth. Yeah. So we're gonna move on to the word diligence. Now this is careful and persistent effort to achieve a task. All right, again, careful and persistent effort to achieve a task. Example, you work thoroughly and consistently on a project, paying attention to every detail. Right, so in our case, we're going over breakdowns, we're reading, taking notes, watching other brothers' videos, you know, listening carefully, going into information, bringing, looking up certain things your brothers bringing out, asking questions about certain precepts where you're reading, or certain chapters, verses, accounts that you're reading. That is where the diligence comes in, right? You want to know thoroughly what this is talking about, right? Like, for example, let's use St. John 3:16 for example. It says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believe in him should not perish but have everlasting life. One can read that at face value and say, oh, because it sounds very straightforward. It says, God so loved the world, gave his only begotten Son. But where diligence comes in now is going into these words, right? Like the word world, for example. See, you go into that, you go into the Greek, you find out, say, the word world in the New Testament is used in 3 different contexts. See, you figure out which context is this one talking about. See, then you find out, say, oh, it's not talking about the entire world, but it's speaking of Israel, right? That is an example of being diligent in the scriptures, right? Another example, concerning even St. John 3:16, right? It says world, but however in other places it continues to mention Israel, right? Continues to mention Israel as the one that the Most High cares about, the one nation that's gonna be saved. But here, so it has a world, and the last time you check, Israel and the other nations are a part of the world. If it were talking about the entire populated earth, you know what I mean. And that's where diligence would come in for actually dig and find and figure out, say, oh, it's not talking about the entire world, it's just talking about Israel, right? And for edification's sake, the word world, the 3 instances, the 3 contexts that the word world is used in the New Testament is, one speaks of Israel, which is the Greek word cosmos, alright, and that means an orderly arrangement, like a government, for example, right? Something that is placed in a specific order. Then you have the word oinkymene, right? The Greek word oinkymene, which speaks of the literal populated world, the earth. And then you have aeon, right? The Greek word aeon, which basically just means an age or time frame, all right? So another example would be when the apostles ask Yahushai, when will be the end of the world? In that case, it was speaking of aeon, right? The Greek word aeon, which just means a time frame. So when will it? So essentially, they were asking, when is the end of this age, or when is the end of this time frame, or this rulership? And when will Israel, kingdom come in? Essentially, is what it goes into. But yes, so let's go again over the word diligence. It says careful and persistent effort to achieve a task, right? So again, in order for understand the scriptures, for have the Holy Spirit, it takes careful and persistent effort. You're constantly going over the scriptures, constantly going into the breakdowns, constantly watching and listening, seeing. That's how we're able for watch these prophecies, for see that, oh, so like, yeah, for example, people think, Russia attacking Ukraine would be what caused, World War III. But we, being the ones that's going into the scriptures and knowing how the prophecies are aligned, know that that wasn't going to start World War III. You see me? We know that according to the scriptures, Israel and Iran conflict is what is going to start World War III. You see me? Example, it says you work thoroughly and consistently on a project, paying attention to every detail. All right. Focus, hard work, and consistency. And I think the key word right here is consistency. You get me? We have a saying out here in Jamaica where, you know, we have a saying for situations are, people who are highly motivated in the moment, but when it really counts, them lacking. We call it Salakia. It's not a term, but it's an analogy. You see me? Bamboo. Bamboos are very flammable. They meaning them catch the fire can spread easily in bamboo, right? When it comes to bamboo, however, it burns out real quickly. So you will have a whole field of bamboos, and whether the time is hot or for whatever reason there's a fire, it quickly catches a fire, blaze, huge blaze, but then within minutes it just goes right out. So bamboo is not an ideal wood, that you would use to keep a fire going or to stoke fire, because it burns out very quickly. The fibers burn very quickly. It's very lightweight. But moving on to the word discipline, it says it's the ability to control your actions and stick to your plan even when it's hard. Right? And this is the one that really hit me, because I'm here sitting, thinking of how my energy is being used up during the day at work. So when we reach home, can't find the energy. I can't find the energy to read, do a lesson, or even work out. That's another thing that's another struggle that a lot of us have. Want to stay in shape. Scripture said bodily exercise profited little. You know what I mean? But it doesn't say it not profit none at all. Right? We gotta, especially living in this kingdom, you know, working 9 to 5, man, you have to put in some, you gotta be doing some form of exercise. If the work that you're doing is not very labor intensive, where you're always active, or you know, you're always moving stuff, right, you're gonna find yourself becoming unfit. Right, you're not able to run for 5 minutes. Yeah, hell, you're probably not even able to run at all because your joints them seize up. You know, your muscles stiff. Yeah. So, you know, working out is something that's, you know, important, you know, as a man, you know. And you know, and looking after your health is very important. So again, it says discipline is the ability to control your actions, stick to your plan, even when it's hard, right? And as I say, that is when these principles really shine through. This is when these principles really matter the most, you know, in a time when it's hard to do the things that you need to do, right? When it's the hardest to get going or to get shit done, you see me? That's when these principles really matter the most. You know, that's when you know if you're really diligent and disciplined, right, and dedicated. So, in short, dedication is about passion and commitment. Diligence is about consistent, careful effort. Discipline is about sticking to habits and overcoming distractions. Now, I'm go ahead and I'm tell the thing to give 3 scriptures from the Bible, New or Old Testament, that speaks about or would require one of each discipline. You know, what I meant was 3 scriptures for each word, but it gave me some good scriptures nonetheless. Alright, so for dedication, it gave Romans 12:1, right? And it says, I want to read it in another Bible up here, because it actually gives you the option to read it in both KJV and NLT. Okay, so Romans 12:1. Alright. Alright, so which. Okay. Alright, so Romans 12:1, it says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Alright, in the NLT, it says, and so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because of all He has done for you. Let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind you will find acceptable. This is surely the way to worship Him. Alright? And this precept goes into dedication. You know, dedicating ourselves to this truth, man. There's really nothing else for us to be dedicating ourselves to. You know? So like, yeah. Right. Yeah, there's nothing else that's worth dedicating our time and effort into than this truth. You get me? You know, saving our, you know, except for the sake of survival, you know, you gotta put time into your work or whatever it is that you're making money from. But that don't mean say you have that above the truth. That should never be prioritized over the truth. Yeah. No job, no hustle, nothing like that shouldn't be a number one priority over the truth. You see me? The truth always should be first. The truth should always be top priority. See? Diligence. So Proverbs 10 and 4, it says, lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth. Alright? This verse highlights the importance of working hard, putting in persistent effort, showing that diligence leads to success. Yeah. And again, in this kingdom, we're not looking for monetary success. We're not look for win for become wealthy or rich in this society. Because one thing I'm gonna notice, what I've come to realize is that nobody in this world who's rich, is truly a good person. See? And by good person, I'm not speaking in terms of, what our people call good. Somebody will give back to charity or whatever. I mean good as in from a scriptural standpoint. Is a meaning, in order to be rich, you have to walk over people, right? Or you have to be involved in some form of witchcraft, or you're involved in some form of evil, whether you want to be a mason, or you sell a soul to the highest bidder or whatever, you know. But I've come to realize that once you have certain level of riches in this kingdom, you're not with the Most High. You see me? And you can tell just by how these especially if you work for them, you can tell by how them deal with people. Is it, you get me? Or how them policies set up when it comes to working for them, them really walk over you, and them flaunt them wealth in front of you, dangle it in front of you, you know. But yeah. Anyways, let's get back to the scriptures. Stay in the spirit. Proverbs 10 and 4. Proverbs. Alright, Proverbs 10 and 4. He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich. Right? And it's not talking about, riches like the riches where I see today. You know what I mean? You know, talk about unrighteous gain. You know? You know, talk about riches where you get by walking over people, or, dealing with your fellow Israelite brothers and sisters like shit. You get me? That's not the riches where the Most High talk about, or what the scriptures are refer to. Right? He that gathereth in summer is a wise son, but he that sleepeth in harvest is a son that causeth shame. Oh, so like, yeah. Right? And that again goes into diligence. You see me? Next we have discipline. Hebrews 12 and 11. It says, no discipline seemed pleasant at the time, but painful later on. However, it produces a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. Alright. Um, so let me read it from the KJV as well. Oh, so okay. Oh, New Testament. All right. It says no. Let me read it from the NLT. It says no discipline is enjoyable. Is no discipline is enjoyable while it is happening. It's painful, but afterward there will be a peaceful harvest of right living for those who are trained in this way. Alright? KJV says, no chastening of the for the present seemeth to be joyous, but grievous. Nevertheless, afterward it yieldeth the peaceable fruit of righteousness unto them which are exercised thereby. Meaning, meaning the hardships where you go through in this truth, right? If you overcome them through the Spirit, right? It's a joyful feeling. See, and guess what? The men them at the top can tell you, man. The men them at the top can tell you. That's how a lot of these men get them experience. You see me? That's why the apostles and the elders are worthy of double honor. The men that have been in this truth for 10, 15, so like 20, 30 years, 50 years. You know, these men are the men that we're supposed to see as the ultimate examples in front of our eyes. You know, going everything that we think we are going through right now. These men been through it, yo. You see me? These men been through all these things. See, so them can tell we, look, this is the way you handle this is how you deal with that. You see me? But at the end of the day, all we have to go through it ourselves. You see me? All we have to figure it out. So like, no even say you have to do it. You have to do it on your own. But really and truly, we are not alone in it. You get what I'm saying? Because as we say, we have the apostles and elders them as examples. You know, these men have been through a lot of the things that we are going through right now. You see me? And they have overcome. See? And they are in the spot that we want to be in. Not necessarily, I'm not talking about, the position of, elder and whatnot. But spiritually, they are in the place that we should desire to be spiritually, meaning having the knowledge and understanding of these scriptures, being spiritually adept, spiritually discerned, able to judge situations through the Spirit, right? Able to judge, for judge, for judge spirits itself, being able to tell the kind of spirit that a person have on them, being able to tell what this situation is going to lead to down the line. And it's not, it really not far-fetched, because me find myself in that situation as well, in a meaning the age that I'm at right now, I'm 30, 31, right? And I find myself giving advice to younger men than myself. Men who are like 18, 19, and it 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 brings it was an unexpected experience for me, giving these young men advice or answering certain questions that them are asked, not necessarily, scriptural questions, but just like life questions or just general knowledge. I find myself a share knowledge with these young men, and them basically just look for me and I say, yo, I'm wise, or them must see me as wise. and I say, oh, me know certain things, you know, how me know these things, how me know it, and it 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 it, it, it put in a little space at the moment where you really have to look back and I say, oh, you yourself nah see it, but other people seeing it, you know. You might not see yourself as being on a certain level, but people on the outside actually see, um, you know, basically I see your knowledge or I see the wisdom that you have. You see me? And if we continue to carry ourselves and operate the way we operate, you know what I mean, we only can go further from there, so you see me? Operate in the spirit is what I mean. Alright. Okay, so this has been a lengthy lesson. So I'm just gonna run through the other precepts because as me say, I actually did want 3 scriptures for each word, but me only get 1 each. So we did do it over back. So I'm gonna just read these ones real quick and then we can close out the lesson. Alright, so dedication. We have Colossians 3:23. It says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Wow. You know, this is wow, this are actually some beautiful precepts. I'm not gonna lie. You see me? Again, it says, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Right? It says wholehearted dedication to any task, treating it as service to God. You see me? And you know, in a way, that's how we feel look at, you know, how we feel look at our jobs, you know, because if you're not practice dedication and diligence, you know, in other things, it's really hard to bring it over into the truth, you know. Let me say that again. If you're not diligent, if there's nothing at all in this world that you are diligent with or disciplining, you know, or dedicated to, it it is a little bit harder for 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 bring these principles to the truth, or if you have these, if you gain these principles or use these principles when it comes to the truth, you know. Reason why I say this is you're not experienced. You know, if you're not passionate about nothing at all, if you're not passionate about nothing at all and dedicated, then how you are gonna know how for sure dedication to the spirit, or how you are gonna know for sure discipline when it comes to the truth, you know. Because yeah, the scriptures are tell us say, oh, if you do these things, brothers are show you say, oh, you know, we gotta be disciplined, we gotta be diligent. But if you're not, if you've never been disciplined or diligent with nothing, it make it a little harder for you if you practice these things in the truth, right? So in a sense, you know, we have to, even though there has to be a balance, you know, because you're not gonna put, wouldn't, you know, tell brothers to give them 100% to each job, or to to whatever 9 to 5 them in. I wouldn't tell my brothers to do that. You see me? But do, you know, do it to the best of your ability. You know, do it as best as you can without doing too much. You know, just so that you still have that ability to be diligent. You still have the ability to be disciplined when it comes to certain things. You know. Salakia. Yeah, because there's gonna be times where you wake up, you don't want to go to work. You get me, but you have to do it. You know, you, you have to do it. You have to be diligent. You have to be disciplined. You know, you have to be dedicated. Isn't it, in some way, shape, or form. But all right, let's continue. Joshua 24:15 says, "But if serving the Lord seems undesirable to you, then choose for yourselves this day whom you will serve. But as for me and my household, we will serve the Lord." All right. Psalms 37:5, it says, "Commit your ways to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will do this." All right. So that was three precepts of dedication. Alright, so now we have three for diligence. Proverbs 13:4, it says, "The soul of the sluggard craves and gets nothing, while the soul of the diligent is richly supplied." 2 Peter 1:10, "Therefore, my brothers and sisters, make every effort to confirm your calling and election, for if you do these things, you will never stumble." Right? So now, brethren, make your calling and election sure, just to paraphrase. Galatians 6:9, it says, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Alright, and we have the last three for discipline now. Proverbs 12:1, it says, "Whoever loves discipline loves knowledge, but whoever hates correction is stupid." No, verse, sorry, 1 Corinthians 9:27 says, "No, I strike a blow to my body." You know what? I'm gonna read this one in the Salakia KJV. Let's keep it for now. Proverbs 25:28, it says, "Like a city whose walls are broken through is a person who lacks self-control." Alright. Alright. It says, "But I keep under Salakia. 1 Corinthians 9:27. It says, let me go 26. I just got 25 here. It says, "And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. No, they do it. No, they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible." Right? And just like we always use examples of athletes, whether it's Usain Bolt, Mike Tyson, Shakari Richards, um, Michael Phelps, even the most evil athletes who um, play the most, I'm going to say, the least popular sports, you know, excuse me, in our sports way might seem the easiest for play. Even these athletes all are all temperate, things, meaning them disciplined, them diligent, and them dedicated to whatever it is them do. Right? They all want to be the best at whatever sport it is them play. You see me? Or if I say, I should rather a majority of them want to be the best in whatever sport it is them play. As me say, you know, Tyson, Tiger Woods, you know, one of the ultimate examples is Cristiano Ronaldo. That man, there is no, I don't see any other football player or soccer player, if you're American, that dedicate themselves so much to that craft, right? That man, that man goes, um, so like that man go hard when it comes to, being disciplined and dedicated to and diligent, in becoming the best footballer in the world, you know, and he is considered one of the best. He is considered, within the top two, right? Which is between him and Lionel Messi. You know, whether whether it is training, how him eat, how him carry himself, everything. Him just him believe in a perfection. You see me? That's what it is. He's a perfectionist. For lack of a better term, right? Him always want to keep himself in a perfect perfect look. Which you can't be perfect as a man in appearance without a beard. But that's just my opinion. But scriptural fact. But anyways, yeah, him really dedicate himself to perfection, right? Perfect body, perfect features, facial features, even though he might go all over the top with certain things, but that's one of the ultimate examples of these three principles, that man, right? But let's continue the precept. It says, and every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. No, they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. So just like how these men are dedicated to their craft, dedicated to them sport, that's how we should be dedicated to this truth, right? Because our crown, our glory, will never fade, right? We will be able to live in our glory, in our glorious days. We will be living legends, basically. Yeah, a lot of these men are living legends or whatever, and still being speaked about highly, you know, while them still alive or whatever, but once them dead, them just become a memory. You see me? And it really not, it's really nothing. The crown is the glory where them obtain is, was really nothing. You see me? But the glory that we will obtain if we stick to this thing, if we dedicate our whole self to this truth, then we will our crown, our glory will be incorruptible. You know what I mean? Nothing can stain it. Right? Nothing can remove it from us. See, one wrong move and them when titles get stripped away. You see me? One wrong move and them titles stripped away from them. And it's pretty much the same with us. You know what I mean? Because the scripture tell us, yo, if, just to paraphrase, if a man is righteous all his days and him go off, all I'm righteousness is counted as nothing. You see me? You start go off, your righteousness is counted as nothing, right? So that's why there is no boasting when it comes to this truth either. You just go full head on, and dedicate yourself to it, and just know, say, yo, yeah, do this. Yeah, do this for gain, um, for gain life, so to speak, for gain life. See, not for a corruptible crown or, man glory, vain glory. But yeah, let's see if we can wrap this. It says, I therefore so run as uncertainty, so fight I, not as the one that beateth the ear, but I keep under my body, and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. Alright, so, hopefully this lesson was edifying. You know, hopefully brothers, really got something from this, you know. Again, Salakia for, take for basically it takes so long for put out videos for feed the flock, feed the sheep, Salakia. Hopefully, Yahweh Shemi shall continue to put this spirit for me so I can go in and do more videos, do more lessons, feed the sheep more. Alright, so with that, I want to give our praises. So Kalalalem Yahweh Shemi Shai, Washem Kakodash, the planners of the apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to that can push in his word sincerely and in truth.